Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm reading today for Pisces energy. So the aim of this reading is to open up a to hit my camera, to open up a portal so that so one of your guides can come through. So I'm thinking ancestor, maybe spirit guide, higher self, whatever's going to come through is going to come through. We will see. So it's either going to be a reading or it's not going to be your reading. It will relate or it won't relate. So I'm going to ask for somebody to come through who may remind you of someone. So we'll see. I'm just going to get into it for you. I don't know if you're a bit suspicious. I don't know if you think somebody's hiding something from you. There's this thing coming through. It's come through in a couple of readings. I can't quite remember who exactly, but there was this thing about like owls. Like owls have got big eyes, right? They're watching, they're gathering information, but they've got little mouths, so they're not speaking. So it's this like watching, collecting, but not giving anything back. Kind of high priestess energy. I don't know if you're dealing with a Scorpio, but like big eyes, big lies. That Lana Del Rey song is coming through. It's like, what are you hiding? What are you not saying? So I don't know if that's you or if you're in some kind of situation like this, or I don't know, it just feels a bit suspicious. It's a bit sus. Like what are you hiding, right? So, okay. Who's coming through, please, for Pisces? Who would like to come through for Pisces, please? Who would like to come through for Pisces? How will Pisces know who this is? Firefly. Okay, fireflies could be particularly symbolic for you. They could light you up. I'm hearing they could light you up. So yeah, okay. Sorry, it's just I thought I was getting something and I wasn't. Firefly, it's fire energy. Maybe you're seeing fireflies at night. Maybe there's someone who's maybe this person coming through is like a light in the darkness for you, right? So whatever you get from firefly, symbolically take it. I'm going to read from the book again. It may fit, it may not, but use your own intuition to guide you. I have to find it first though. Just give me a second. Where are you? Have you lost someone? Been getting that through a little bit on and off. Not being able to find people in the places you'd expect them to be in. Right. Inspired and fantastic and yet fleeting. The firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high-frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the Firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if you do not catch it. There is Firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? When in balance, right creates brainstorms. When out of balance, burnt out and feels dull. Bring into balance, write a poem and draw. So this energy, this guide that's coming through for you, whoever this is, they could be very, very inspiring to you. It could be like, you know, you have a conversation with this person, or maybe you used to if this person was like is on the other side now, or maybe you still do. Like when you connect to them, when you think about them, when you have imaginary conversations in your head with them, perhaps there's like this energy when it is around you in whatever form that takes. It could be something said in passing and it gives you an idea. It could be like you discuss things that are very kind of out of the box, and like the, you know, it's you roll with it, you take it, you it's like you grab it, you utilize it. It's like there's it just feels like inspirational in some sort of way. And it may not be that this person themselves is particularly inspiring, but it could be that something they say, or something about, they're giving me, I don't know the song very well, but it's like a wedding song to me. It's something in the way she moves. Something, I'm gonna have to try and find it, hold on. So it's like, yeah, it just feels like inspirational. Like something about them kind of triggers a creative response in you. Something in the way she, I don't know who sings it. It's like one of those songs my granddad used to listen to. She moves. I don't think I'm finding it. Is it moves? Something in the way she moves. Give me a second, I'm going to try and find it. I am freaking out. You've got to be kidding me. I found it. I kept on coming up with this song by somebody called James Taylor, and it wasn't that one. And then I finally found it, and it's the Beatles again. I keep getting the Beatles. Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way she woos me. I don't want to leave her now. You know I believe and how. Somewhere in her smile she knows that I don't need no other lover. Something in her style that she shows me. I don't want to leave her now. You know I believe and how. You're asking me, will my love grow? I don't know, I don't know. You stick around, now it may show. I don't know, I don't know. Something in the way she knows. All I have to do is think of her. Something in the things she shows me. I don't want to leave her now. I know I believe and how. Okay, but I'm going to have to add that to my Spotify. That's like nostalgic for me. It reminds me of being in my granddad's car. Yeah, okay, something, it's like something, like you can't explain it. It's like something about this person. So it may be romantic, it doesn't have to be. But it's like they inspire you in some sort of way. Right. Oh, hello, relationship message immediately. TikTok. Giving me Madonna. Time goes by so slowly. Time goes by so slowly. Every little thing that you say or do, I'm hung up. I'm hanging up on you. Waiting for your call every night and day. I'm fed up. I'm tired of waiting on you. Sorry, I'm singing it as I'm looking for the page. Love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Aquarius had this thing about eggs, like frog spawn, like snake eggs. Yeah, I don't know. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, its divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give and receive it. Its clock is eternal and ticks according to the beating of your heart. Hello, birds. Birds are going crazy out there. It's in perfect rhythm. Isn't that wonderful to know? Love is always right on time. So can I get a clarifier, please? TikTok, right on time, like the High Priestess. She knows. Something in the way she knows. Tell you what. So it could be you. It could be this energy for you. You are quite an intuitive sign. I'm getting Scorpio as well, so Scorpio could be symbolic for somebody. Yeah, but the High Priestess knows. How I was talking about the owl, right? The owl has big eyes, a little small mouth, little small beak. It's like it knows, it's intelligent. It's actually not that intelligent, to be honest, but the metaphor is the metaphor for somebody who's very intelligent. They have a lot of knowledge. Like they know, that's what I do. I drink and I know things. It's like big eyes, taking it all in, absorbing, not necessarily speaking. So it's somebody who kind of like camel energy as well. Somebody got the camel. It's like keeping it all inside. So it's also like it's scorpionic energy. It's kind of King of Cups energy. King of Cups tends to hold a lot within without actually necessarily expressing it. It's like the King of Cups knows there's a time and a place to express things. I don't know why I'm talking about the King of Cups. It's just Scorpio energy, right? So it's like yeah, it's giving me like I drink and I know things. I know how I was talking about that Big Eyes song. It's like, what are the secrets? Let me just pull it up. I think I've still got it on my Spotify. Like, I think I can get the lyrics up. Because I was looking at the Beatles on, yeah, the Beatles on something else. What is she saying? I saw you creeping around the garden. What are you hiding? I beg your pardon. Don't tell me nothing. I used to think I could trust you, but you've got big eyes and big lies. I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's a deep inner knowing that comes with the High Priestess card. It's one of those things you can't necessarily explain it. So it could be talking about a connection that you have with somebody. Like you can't really explain it. You can't really explain why this person's important to you. You can't really explain why you're attracted to them. It's not something that can be known with the intellect, right? It's something that's divine. It's something that's spiritual. It's something that's intuitive. Okay. It's just something about them, right? What is the Firefly's message to you today? The Firefly's message to you today. Groundhog Spirit, time to let go. Some of you may be on the cusp. Sometimes life stings, time to let go. You've also got consecutive numbers from different decks, which is very, very interesting because you've got a card about timing, and then you've got 30, 31. So there's progress in a situation. It may be going very, very slowly. Time to let go. Still making me think of like Aquarius's reading where they were holding on to some stuff from the past. So some of you may be on the cusp. I do find like Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, you do tend to interplay a lot between these three readings. Endings lead to beginnings, and death is a part of life. So Groundhog Spirit is here to let you know that it's time to accept the natural ending of something that is no longer serving you. We love to hold on to what is familiar, but the new, it's really tying in with Capricorn's reading, who had this, like, I was saying in it, I was like, no place like home, no place like home. And then in Aquarius's reading, no place like home came out. And now you've got this, like, the same message of, like, because in Capricorn's reading, it came through as like, sorry, I keep saying like. In Capricorn's reading, it was coming through with this energy of not feeling like they were fitting in with the environment, or wishing they were somewhere else, or like being in one environment but projecting into another environment, where it literally played out in the car. My phone decided it was a good time to just interrupt the video and try and install an update, so sorry about that. Yeah, Aquarius had this thing about it literally played out in the cards. It was like literally there in the cards with some really dark stuff, like trigger warning if you decide to go and watch Aquarius's reading, about you know, what happens physically, you know, I don't know. Right, okay. Endings lead to beginnings, and death is a part of life. So Groundhog Spirit is here to remind you that it's time to accept the natural ending of something that is no longer serving you. We love to hold on to what is familiar, but the new needs space to arrive so growth can occur. When Groundhog Spirit appears, it is a sign that there is something in your present situation that you need to let go of, so that something new can be born, something that will far better serve you now. When the groundhog sees his shadow, he retreats to his den, so you might too yearn for a little more time to say goodbye and transition into the new. However, change is coming. Really feels like it's tying in with those other two readings. Change is coming, and it is good. So let go of your resistance. So the thing with Aquarius's reading, they had the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is happy, right? Like Ten of Cups is happiness. It's emotional fulfillment shared with other people. It's like what we aim for, right? Surrounding it were two cards about change, but also two cards about disappointment with how things worked out, and grief and loss, and even financial loss as well, like the emotions and the physical reality of a change, of a situation ending, and not being ready to let go of it. And in, you know, after the Ten of Cups, which is the good stuff, right, which was coming in for them, they also had this Nine of Swords energy, and the Nine of Swords is like really, really worrying, like worrying yourself to the point of exhaustion or bad mental health, like anxiety, fear, worry. And there's this real message about progression of time and like decay and how much time you have left, kind of thing. Which just is coming through so strongly in these three readings. So I wonder if there's something going on astronomically over Thursday, Friday, Saturday, where these messages keep coming through. The change that's coming is good, so let go of your resistance. Spring brings many blessings, and what must die will always be reborn. So again, like Aquarius had the Judgment card. In a new form that will be right for you. Life requires change and detachment. So funny, because I was talking, hi, shout out my friend. I was talking to one of my Pisces friends about change the other day, and people who like change. I'm my Virgo friend as well, like people who like change and people who don't like change, like resistance to change. Life requires change and detachment. Say farewell to whatever once served you and get ready for something amazing to take its place. Spirit is already sending it your way, and you have this spirit guide here, right, in your reading. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel. So obviously I'm not suggesting anyone do anything ridiculous. Let the universe decide when it's time, right? You don't have to mess around with the timing of those things, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, whose reading is this reminding me of? I feel like it was a personal reading or a tell me anything reading where somebody had like this devil energy of like being really stuck in their own fears and being stuck in this like between a rock and a hard place. It was like, I can't choose that because it, you know, it'll hurt me. I can't choose that because it'll hurt me. It's like having to choose between the tower and the death card. It's an impossible choice. And I feel like if you're in one of those situations where you're feeling very, very stuck, especially because the swords represent your thoughts, right? Your fears of getting hurt. Because if that butterfly spreads its wings, it's you know, and the swords are around it or the thorns are around it, you know, it's going to get pricked by those thorns. Interesting. Aquarius at the end of their reading had a rose without thorns, and I'm just reminded as well, and I didn't get a picture fast enough because when I spoke it blew away. There was a butterfly that looked like this. It had the same colouring, and I was out for a walk the other day and I saw this butterfly and I kind of followed it a bit and it came over and it landed on my stomach. And I was like, oh my god, get the camera. But as I said, get the camera, because of the me blowing out of my mouth, it flew away. I was like, no, I wanted a picture of the butterfly on me. I felt so special and so blessed. I felt like I am one with nature. I am a Disney princess. I go to near the butterfly and the butterfly trusts me and lands on me. Like, I felt like proper like, I've been blessed by this delicate creature, right? So I don't know, I things that happen to me can be messages for you. So I'm bringing that analogy in because it maybe somebody had a butterfly land on them. I don't know, but it's like this thing about perhaps there could be an analogy about you being a safe person for somebody to come to, or you finding somebody that you feel comfortable with, right? You feel like you can land on them. But again, there's these swords indicating a lot of fear and anxiety around being able to spread your wings and have that change as well. Like butterflies, of course, are symbolic of change, kind of like the Judgment card, right? In the Arcana, it's changing from one state to another, changing from a I'm getting a lot of stuff about animals changing. Maybe somebody's child is learning about life cycles. It kind of gives me life cycle energy. So how the caterpillar starts out like a worm, right? And then it eats a lot of plants like the very hungry caterpillar, and it goes into the chrysalis. It completely breaks down into caterpillar soup, which again is another children's book if you're interested in that. You get the caterpillar soup and then it completely restructures. It's like its DNA changes and everything, I think, and it breaks out the chrysalis and it becomes a butterfly. It completely changes form. It's completely different, right? A big metamorphosis, a big transformation, a big change. Yes, phone beeping at me. So and it's scary and it may be painful as well. I can't imagine it's comfortable for that caterpillar to break down in that chrysalis, and yet it does, and yet it's natural for it, and yet it knows when it's the right time. So I don't know, maybe if you've got kids, go and check out The Very Hungry Caterpillar and Caterpillar Soup. There could be messages in those books for you, and a deep knowing that it's the right time. It's like your blueprints, it's your DNA. You know when it's the time to do this. And there's also this thing as well, again, it came through in Aquarius' reading about being at home and looking after yourself and giving yourself, again, it came through in Capricorn as well, like give yourself the nutrients you need, give yourself the time and the rest that you need. So you could be going through some kind of transitory stage in your life, and it's like, eat well, sleep well, right? Nurture your body, look after your body, because you're going to need that. You're going to need those resources for this change. Okay, so how can this energy help you, Pisces? How can this energy help you? How can this energy help you? How can the firefly help Pisces, especially if you are going through some sort of change and you've got some anxiety around that? I want to say as well, it's normal, right? It's absolutely normal for when you're going to have some sort of change. Some people go into it, it's really exciting, but I think excitement and nerves, you know, they both cause those butterflies in your stomach energy. So they're two sides of the same coin. So again, thank you to my Pisces friend for putting this in my brain last week, because it's coming through in the reading now. It's like they're giving me, I think they're giving me a Lana Del Rey song. It's something to do with like fear feels a lot like butterflies. I can't remember whose song it is. Fear feels like butterflies. It could be Madison Beer. So it's like going into some sort of change, being quite scared. It's like the devil showing up at the door to stop you having that transformation. It's like, he's sure about this. I'd say it's very, very normal for that to happen. And it's good to have that self-awareness of, I'm about to make a big change. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of fear around this. There may be some questioning of, is this really the right thing for me? But then with Groundhog Spirit saying it's time to let go of the past situations that no longer serve you. If you're not feeling comfortable in that environment anymore, if you're not feeling like that's the place where you need to be anymore, perhaps you've learned all the lessons that you can from that place, then it could be that transitioning to something new is going to allow for a lot of growth, kind of like big fish, small pond energy. Yeah, life cycles. So they were giving me something else with life cycles. Frogs, right? Frog spawn, which was Aquarius's thing. How can the firefly please help Pisces? How can the firefly help Pisces? Maybe the firefly, I was going to say maybe the firefly can't help you. Maybe you have to help yourself in this case. Melchizedek, spiritual development study, law of attraction. Goddess Kuan Yin, compassion, kindness, divine mercy. Very similar as well to the energy that was coming through for Aquarius. There was this really, like this nurturing feminine, like this mother goddess energy that was coming through for them. And it's kind of a similar thing. She's even got like the flower in her hair and the roses on her dress. I'll get you another rose oracle as well. Right. Goddess Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is the Buddhist Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva of compassion, originating. I'm trying my best. Okay, it's hard. Originating from East Asia, she has been adopted by many spiritual seekers and belief systems. Known as the Mother Mary of the East, jaw drop, she is an aspect of the Divine Mother and can be called upon whenever you require or desire motherly love, unconditional love, compassion and kindness. Right, the really lovely thing that I find is that I identify energy. I can identify energy and I know the attributes of that energy, and I believe that humans give it different names. So this mother goddess energy, I know it personally as like the Roman Venus Aphrodite, right? The Roman protective, but very sensual and very loving and very nurturing mother goddess of Rome. You know, the East knows this goddess energy as Kuan Yin. You know, Catholicism and so like never eat shredded wheat. Western religions may know it as Mother Mary, but it's this mother goddess who I think is an energy, and humans give it different names, right? So she's here again. Whenever you require or desire motherly love, unconditional love, compassion and kindness. It is said that after reaching enlightenment and on hearing the cries of humanity, instead of stepping through the gates of heaven, she turned back, I'm getting spirit bumps, and decided to stay and help. She is ready and willing to answer your call. Be kind and compassionate with yourself and others. It's making me cry. Call on Kuan Yin for assistance with being more compassionate and kind towards others, self-love, mother love or healing, inner child healing, letting love in, which was what I felt Aquarius was having trouble with, divine mercy, divine compensation and karmic release. Somebody said to me on Twitter today, I was talking with some of my friends, and we were just saying nice things to each other about, you know, not trying too hard and using positive manifestation and things like this. So kind of like what you talk about in the wellness community. You know, and I know especially one of my friends is very knowledgeable about this, about what's Melchizedek doing here? Law of attraction. She's wrote a book about law of attraction. So and I went in and said, if anyone deserves any good karma, it's you two. Because they're really good people, really, really nice people. And someone in the comments said, karma's not real. Only God is real. You know, one of these who's just so entrenched in their own belief system that they can't be open to the belief system of others. My own personal belief system is that everything exists. Everything everything that exists, everything's real, because we believe it is, right? So I think that energy exists and we give that energy different names, like as humans, because we're humans, right? We're in a mortal body, you know, with the constraints that a mortal body has. We cannot fully understand divinity, and to think that we can is a huge amount of ego. So we can connect with these energies, we can feel them, we can understand them to an extent, but ultimately as human beings on earth who are not gods but are all part of God, right, part of the universe, because God is omnipresent, right? So as manifestations of God on earth, we try and explain it, we try and find words to pass this learning that we have onto others, and our language is limited, we can't always explain what we feel, right? You know, the messages that we receive, it can be very difficult to not only to put those into words ourselves, but to have those words understood by somebody else who's having a different experience on earth. So we have limitations, and it's important to understand that we have those limitations. And I think those limitations cause us, as we live our lives and our purpose out on earth in our human bodies, we have these spiritual leaders, or we have these messages that come from these energies, and we try and understand them, and we give them names, and sometimes we give them the word God, and sometimes we give them the name Goddess Kuan Yin, and sometimes we give them the name High Priestess, right? But it's all it's just words, and it's just labels to try and explain this energy to others. So it's important to be open and to understand that the divinity can manifest on earth through different cultures differently, but we're, you know, and it becomes diluted, I think, and I think it becomes polluted because humans with their own limited perspective and limited lenses, even if they are a high priestess, even if they are a priest, even if they are particularly spiritual, you know, they still have the limited perspective that has been afforded them as they live their life on earth. So for me personally, God is in everything, and that includes karma, because karma is God playing out on earth, right? You know, it's just one of the aspects of whatever we name that divinity. I call it the universe, you know, this other person calls it God, but neither of us, I want to say, are wrong. Both of us are correct, and it can be very difficult to hold that kind of duality in your head. And some people are so limited by their own perspective and their own belief systems and their own environmental conditioning in the human experience that they really find it difficult to change focus and see through the lens of somebody else, which is part of their own journey, and it's part of their own growth and development. And yeah, I don't know, felt a bit sorry for them, to be honest. So not in a condescending way, in a way that was like, they'd missed out on something. They'd missed out on something that was happening between me and my friends, and the love that was being shared there, because they'd come in with their dogma, and I was like, you've missed the point of what's actually happening here. So thanks for your contribution, but it's not really what this thread's about. You know. Okay, cool. I don't know why that's coming through, but it could be something for somebody. Call on Kuan Yin for assistance with, it's like accepting one thing doesn't mean that you have to deny another. You can hold two concepts with you know, the duality of that, and sometimes the contrasts within that. You can hold two opposing views at once. You know, this is the majesty of a human, to be able to be multifaceted and complex and not I don't know. Call on Kuan Yin for assistance with being more compassionate and kind towards others, self-love, mothering love or healing, inner child healing, letting love in, divine mercy, divine compensation and karmic release. Embody the energy of Kuan Yin by choosing to help others over helping yourself, being compassionate and trying not to judge others. There you go. You don't know their story. Being kind to everyone you meet, loving yourself and knowing you are worthy of compassion and kindness from others and divine mercy. Exactly, that's kind of what I was saying. Also picking up on Gemini energy with the butterfly. Geminis are particularly good at teaching us how to, because they're all about the brain, Gemini, like they are, and duality. So Geminis are brilliant at being able to be two things at once, and those two things are often very opposing, but being contained in the one, right? Gemini energy again with the Seven of Swords has a message there. Goddess Kuan Yin, there you go. This energy can help you to make connections with other people, to have kindness for yourself and for others, to find relationships where there's equal give and take, equal emotional give and take, equal support, equal compassion, equal understanding. It doesn't have to be romantic, although it can be. Often it can be friendships. I always say it's like the kind of friend where you can be in a crowded room and you look across the room and you catch their eye and you just know what they're thinking. Like you're thinking the same thing. It's that kind of energy. So really, really nice. You've got 2 and 2 here. Lovely. The roses seem to be significant. Yeah, really, really nice. Understanding others as well. Like we can't have a 2 of Cups connection. We can't have a 2 of Cups connection when we're very, very stuck in our own thoughts, because we're only seeing things through our own lens, right? We have to be able to be open, which is the message that came through in Aquarius's reading, to the concepts and the ideas and the input of other people and the experiences of other people, right? This is what I was talking about. As a human being on earth, we can only walk in our own shoes. We can't necessarily have the full experience of another mortal body. So all we can do is listen and have compassion and have understanding and allow people to tell us who they are, right? And to decide if that's somebody that we want to connect with or not. Okay, so I hope that was helpful to somebody. I am going to grab you a rose oracle. I've put them away and everything because I didn't expect to use them again. So you, Cappy, and Aquarius have all had bonus cards because you're fancy. What would the Rose Oracle like to say in Pisces' reading? What is the message from the Rose Oracle today? The grandmothers, remember your roots. I'm getting spirit bumps again. Remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. Like that is a very, very beautiful card. Like, look at all the grandmas. Like little pearls of wisdom there as well. So yeah, I feel like you have maternal energy watching over you and guiding you and giving you love and compassion. Remember your roots, perspective. Again, perspective about the lenses, trust the weavings, the breathing rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. I'm kind of tempted to read that one. I'll show you the image. I'm going to read that one. And heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. The breathing rose. Often healing is slow. Often healing is a slow, steady process. It's complex and not linear. It takes as long as it takes. And most of the time, you've got this TikTok, right? It takes as long as it takes. And most of the time, that's much longer than we'd wish. But like all things in nature, there's a mysterious intelligence to it. And if we trust it and let the vibrant petals fall to the earth, cut back what is no longer, and protect the new shoots and buds from being pried open, we may find ourselves in a second bloom. Talking about my avocados, I was showing off my avocados to Capricorn. I was like, Capricorn, look, I'm doing you. I've got this one who it's the end of it kind of like died, and I don't know what I'm doing with plants, right? But I was like, right, clearly nothing's growing at the end of that, and I could see these little like new buds and new shoots off the side of the stem. So I was like, right, maybe if I chop the end off, maybe these will grow. And I was right, and they're growing. So I don't know, maybe there's a message in that as well. Maybe somebody is a gardener, I don't know. Okay. But like all things in nature, there is a mysterious intelligence to it, and if we trust it and let the vibrant petals fall to the earth, cut back what is no longer, and protect the new shoots and buds from being pried open, we may find ourselves in a second bloom, and fruits will follow. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get any avocados, but I might get a nice leafy plant. You can't manufacture that. We must trust the great mystery in the process, which is taking you back to this energy here. The bud somehow manages to burst through the constraints by opening to life. All of nature has this intelligence within it. The challenge when we're going through a time of healing, which is another word for growth, transformation and change, is not to close ourselves off from the world when we most want to separate and shut down. To somehow find the courage to open through the agony, the difficulty and the hurt, and when we feel safe enough to let life soften us and not harden us, to deepen and cradle us. The Tell Me Anything reading at the start of the week had this with the unicorn, and Libra's reading too. It was like the unicorn was coming through with this message of somebody who had faced trials in their life. They'd faced darkness, they'd faced struggles, they'd faced difficulty, like the swamp analogy that's been coming through in the last couple of readings, right? It's like they've been in the murky environments, they've been in the toxic relationships, they've been in the challenging situations, whatever that might be. And yet, rather than becoming like the difficult energies that they dealt with, so however that played out for you, right, the people you've connected with who treated you badly, rather than shutting down and becoming cold and emotionless and doing that to other people, like treating others the way you've been treated, it was like the unicorn was able to stay open and continue to connect to that inner light, right, the inner guidance, the spirit guides, and to say, although there is darkness, I continue to shine brightly, right? This firefly energy. Although I've been hurt, I continue to transmute that pain into love. So it was a very magical quality that was coming through in those two readings with this unicorn energy of somebody who, despite the odds, was going to quite consciously choose to stay open to the possibility, to keep the heart open, to keep putting good into the world when perhaps they hadn't received that. So yeah, I feel like there's a tie into that reading. This is a card of deep heart healing. It will often come to us as a symbol of emotional healing that is in the process of happening. The mending is underway. Treat yourself and your healing with compassion, understanding and gentleness. This is a card of deep encouragement that you are doing it. Time will ease everything soon, right? Like if you're grieving, it takes time. How can you treat yourself with gentle compassion and softness? How can you trust the timing of your healing? So I was getting a message the other day, and I feel like it could be for any three of the signs that I've just read for. So Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. There was a message the other day coming through, and it was a personal reading that I didn't do, but it was a message for somebody who was in that process of probably grieving. They've taken it away from me. Why have they taken it away from me? Do they not want me to say? Let me just see if it comes back. Yeah, okay, thank you, with the Two of Cups. So it was this process of somebody who was doing a cycle of healing, but they'd come to a point where they'd kind of come as far as they could alone, right? They'd gone within, they'd done the the hermit mode of isolating themselves, doing the shadow work, looking at the deep truths, really finding the authenticity within. But they were at this point where, like here, like they couldn't quite get to that final stage, or they kind of hit a stumbling block with the healing. And it was this message of well, it's because you need to, it's like time now to allow other people to help you. It's time to come out of hermit mode energy and open up again. It's like, because there's something about this other energy, there's something about this Two of Cups where perhaps they're on a similar cycle. Like they have the next step, they have the missing piece, they have the thing, like here, like with the firefly, right? It's like they have the inspiration that you need to unlock the next door, to unlock the next chapter. So there's this kind of like frozen energy of somebody. So it could be for you, perhaps with the Two of Cups. everybody's going to be at a different stage, right? This is not a linear thing. So some people could still be in the, I need to be at home, I need to be on my own, I need to disconnect and do my soul searching. Other people who, perhaps if you're one of the people who has done that and you've found some deep inner truth and you're quite sure about what you want and where you are, but you've hit this kind of like stumbling block where it's like, I'm not progressing now. I've kind of hit this wall where I've been doing the healing, but I've got to this dead end almost. It's like, because you're not meant to do this next stage on your own. It's like a 2-player game, right? You've been doing the first level as a 1-player, but the next stage is a 2-player. So you need to phone a friend, right? You need to buddy up with somebody, and like it takes 2, right, to navigate the road ahead. So do take that if it feels appropriate. If it's not where you're at, that's absolutely fine. Take care of yourselves. Check out the description box for more songs, and see if any of those are relevant to you, and I will see you again soon. Do take care, Pisces. Bye bye.